This one idea, it's really at the heart of so many relationship struggles. It's a fundamental misunderstanding that can lead to so much heartbreak, and it's exactly what we're going to unpack today. And to really get to the bottom of this, we're going to crack open the core concepts of John Gray's game-changing book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, to understand those hidden dynamics that cause so much friction between partners. Hello to all viewers of my channel. The big promise of this book is that just understanding our core differences, that's the first step. It helps us become a little more patient with reactions that seem totally alien to our own, which is a question that has puzzled people for ages. Okay, so let's get right into it and start with a problem that I think we can all relate to. Why do so many loving relationships just fall apart? I mean, think about it. Millions of couples kick things off with that incredible head over heels feeling, right? But then, somewhere down the line, they find themselves totally disconnected, unhappy. So what gives? What goes wrong? Is love simply not enough? And if you look at the numbers, they're pretty sobering. Of all the couples who get married, only about half actually stay married. And of that half that sticks together, a huge chunk of them say they're unfulfilled or just plain unhappy. So very few people really manage to keep that love growing over time. So to explain this, the book gives us this really powerful metaphor. The idea is that it's not about a lack of love. It's that we're basically trying to talk to each other from completely different worlds. Yeah, the whole central idea is that men and women are so different, it's like we're from separate planets. And we get so frustrated because we expect our partners to want what we want, to feel how we feel. And that mismatch is where all the friction comes from. Okay, so this chart kind of breaks down our core programming, if you will. For Martians or men, it's all about values like power and achievement. They feel loved when their partner trusts them to handle things. But for Venusians or women, the priority is love and relationships. They feel supported when they are truly listened to. I mean, right away you can see the potential for a clash, can't you? One person's looking for independence, the other for connection. All right, so let's see how these different operating systems play out in one of the most common conflict zones, dealing with stress. So when a guy is stressed out, his go-to move is to pull back, right? He retreats into what the book calls his cave. This is his mental space where he just wants to be quiet and focus on the problem until he's got a solution. But to a woman, what does that feel like? It can feel like he's just shutting her out, ignoring her. And on the flip side, when a woman is stressed, her instinct is to talk about it. Sharing helps her process everything and feel connected. But to a man who's in his cave, this can feel like this overwhelming demand for solutions he just doesn't have yet. And these totally opposite ways of handling stress, they often lead to these two classic, and I mean well-intentioned, communication mistakes that can just slowly but surely poison a relationship. And this little story about Tom and Mary just illustrates it perfectly. Mary gets home from a crazy day and says, "I have so much to do, I have no time for myself." Now, she's looking for some empathy. But Tom, being a Martian, hears a problem that needs fixing. So he immediately jumps in with a solution. "You should just quit that job." Mary feels completely unheard. She just wanted him to listen. And Tom is left feeling confused. His attempt to help was just shot down. Sound familiar? This is exactly what the book calls the Mr. Fix-It syndrome. See, for a man, jumping in with a solution is an act of love. It's how he shows he cares and that he's competent. What he doesn't get is that when she's talking about her problems, she's not always looking for a quick fix. She just wants to feel validated and understood. Now, the flip side of this coin is what's called the home improvement committee. A woman often shows her love by trying to help her guy grow, to improve. So she'll offer some unsolicited advice or helpful critiques, thinking she's being supportive. But to him, it feels like she doesn't trust him to handle things himself. He hears you're not good enough, and that's a direct hit on his Martian need to feel competent. Okay, so if those are the traps we all keep falling into, how in the world do we get out? Well, thankfully, the book gives us some really practical hands-on tools to bridge this communication gap. And one of the most powerful tools is something called the love letter technique. And no, it's not just writing a sweet note. It's actually a super structured way to work through and talk about negative feelings without it blowing up into a huge fight. So here's how it works. You write a letter, but you move through 5 specific emotional layers. You start with the anger, the frustration. Then you dig a little deeper into the sadness that's underneath all that. From there, you explore your fears. Then you get to your own regrets. And finally, you end with love. The whole point is, by writing it all out first, You get through the raw emotion on your own, so you can have a much calmer, more loving conversation about it later. All right, now for what might be one of the most transformative ideas in the entire book. You know that overwhelming wave of emotion you get during a fight? What's really going on there? This is what's called the 90-10 principle. And the idea is this. When your partner does something that triggers this huge negative reaction in you, only about 10% of that upset is actually about what's happening right now. The other 90%, that's an explosion of unresolved stuff from your past, a lot of it probably from childhood. And realizing this, it changes everything, because instead of blaming your partner for causing 100% of your pain, you can step back and realize, whoa, they just poked an old wound. And that simple shift lets you have compassion for yourself and for them, and it can totally de-escalate a fight. When you boil it all down, the book's message is really one of empowerment. It says that when we stop trying to change our partner and just start understanding them, we create this space where both people actually want to give more to each other. It's all about growing together. So that really leaves us with a final big question to chew on. What if the key to a better relationship isn't about changing who you are or trying to change them, but just finally truly understanding who you both are? Hey, if this whole idea of learning to speak a different relationship language resonates with you, let us know what you think. Subscribe to the channel and also suggest your topics for future videos in the comments. Thanks for watching.